Om-Jnana-Timirandasya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namah Chittayamanopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svamarupakadam Mayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shiu Shiyuda Padkamlam Shirum Vaishnavam Sham Shirupam Sarajatam Sakanaragnatam Tam Sachivan Satvaitam Savadutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirada Krishna Padan Sakalita Shivashakam Vitamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jyatpate Gopesha Kovka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansna Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Panama Mahari Praye Vancha Kalpta Bashake Pasan Vivisa Putnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasa Adadi Gaura Bhakta Vinma Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gauravanya Pacharne Nirvishesa Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarne. This evening we will continue our discussion of Nectar of Instruction. We were discussing Nectar of Instruction, verse 3. Utsaha nisaya dayat tatat karma pavartanat sangatyara satovite sadbir bhakti prashidati. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to the regulative principles, abandoning the association of non-devotees, following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of devotional service. For the last months we have been discussing it tat karma pravartanat, acting according to the regulative principles, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. These are the regulative principles of devotional service. We must hear about Krishna, and then speak about Krishna, remember about Krishna. And Padasevanam, worship the lotus feet of Krishna. That's Archanam, deity worship. Vandanam, prayers. And then Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Sakhyam is cultivating friendship with the Lord. Atmanivedanam is full surrender to the Supreme Lord. Today we will discuss Sakhyam. Sakhyam, friendship, seeing the Lord as a friend. In the Bhagavad Gita, there Lord Krishna, at the end of the 9th chapter, 9:21, Lord Krishna says, Samam sarvabhutesu namid veshi sthinapriya. Ye bachantu mam bhaktya maite tesa sapyaham. Krishna says, I am for no one, and nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, Krishna says. He's in me, and I'm also friend to him. So that is the devotee of Krishna, sees Krishna as his best friend, situated within his heart. that in this world we may have many relationships, and all these relationships, they come and go, and finally they break all at the time of death. They are temporary relationships, but the relationship with Krishna is an eternal relationship that we never will be separated from Krishna, is in the heart of the soul. That so cultivating Krishna consciousness means living in a relationship with Krishna constantly, living in a relationship in the heart. When the wives of the Brahmins came to give food to Krishna and Balaram, then Krishna said to them, "It's very nice you have come. Your affection for me is very much appreciated. But now go back home and perform your sadhana and think of me always in your heart. It is not by my physical presence that you come to the terms that you make spiritual advancement. It is by the process, following the process of Krishna consciousness, that the sadhana is meant to purify us and then find Krishna in the heart. That is also the purpose of the yogis. Have Bhagavad Gita 6:7, that Shitatmana prasantasma Paramatma Samaita. If the mind is conquered and becomes purified, then we find Krishna in the heart. Krishna says, Yoginam apisarvanam madhyatantara atmanam shadava pachateyo mam same yuktata momata. The highest yogi is one who lives always united with me in love within the heart. So that indicates a relationship with Krishna, accepting Krishna as your friend. Accepting Krishna as your friend, a friend is always your well-wisher. And Krishna is always our well-wisher. That if Krishna is our best friend, then before we do anything in our lives, we want to know if our friend is pleased with that. What does our friend want? If we have a relationship in friendship with Krishna in the heart, then it's a relationship of love. And we are very interested to know what the beloved desires, and we try to fulfill these desires. What Krishna desires is in Bhagavad Gita. Then we know Bhagavad Gita, that before we do something, we want to know, is Krishna pleased? What's the simple method of how to know that is Krishna is pleased? That then the question is our spiritual master pleased if I'm doing that? Is that is that according to the instructions of the spiritual master? And that is Prabhupada pleased when I do this or that? That should be our way of thinking. And then we will do the right thing. So SAKHYAM. But this SAKHYAM is is a result of being a servant of Krishna, because friends they serve also each other. So you want to serve Krishna, and Krishna says in this 9:25, yeah, if you serve me, then you are my friend, and I'm your friend. I'm your friend. So Krishna is our well-wisher and will guide us. But this Sakhyam is explained in more detail in Nectar of Devotion. That what the sweetness of having a relationship with Krishna in friendship. There different friends of Krishna are depicted in Nectar of Devotion. That and we will soon go to the Nectar of Devotion and read about the experience of being a friend of Krishna. Friendship with Krishna means eternal friend. That friendship with people in this world is very temporary and mostly not stable. So we will first read what Prabhupada writes about friendship in the purport 7.5.23 of the Bhagavatam, that about Sakhyam. Can someone read what is on the screen now? That Sakhyam?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sakhyam. In regard to worshiping the Lord as a friend, the Agastya Samhita states that a devotee engaged in performing devotional service by Shravanam and Kirtanam sometimes wants to see the Lord personally, and for this purpose he resides in the temple. Elsewhere there is this statement, O my Lord, Supreme Personality and Eternal Friend, although you are full of bliss and knowledge, you have become the friend of the residents of Vrindavan. How fortunate are these devotees. In this statement, the word friend is specifically used to indicate intense love. Friendship, therefore, is better than servitude. In the stage above Dasya Ras, the devotee accepts the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a friend. This is not at all astonishing, for when a devotee is pure in heart, the opulence of his worship of the deity diminishes as spontaneous love for the personality of Godhead is manifested. In this regard, Sridhar Swami mentions Sudama Vipra, who expressed to himself his feelings of obligation, thinking, life after life, may I be connected with Krishna in this friendly attitude.
Yes. Sudam Vipra went together with Lord Krishna to the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni in Avanti, Ujjain. And they learned 64 arts, Sudam, Krishna, Balaram. They learned 64 arts in 64 days. That and Sudam was very close to Krishna. Sudam was from Brahman upbringing, and one day they went together in the forest to get firewood for the wife of Sandipani Muni for cooking. So while they were in the forest, a big storm came up with heavy rainfall. And Krishna and Sudam, they lost their way in the forest. Of course, it's Krishna losing his way in the forest. That's a pastime. But the storm was so heavy that they didn't want to lose contact with each other, and they because they couldn't see anything by the rain and the storm, and they were hand in hand the whole night wandering to the forest. And then the next day, in the morning, because Sandipani Muni found out that they didn't come back to the ashram, all the cowherd boys went into the forest searching for them and found them. So that is an extraordinary experience to have such a friendship and close relationship with Krishna. But Krishna brings from the spiritual world, when he manifests his pastimes in Vrindavan, from the spiritual world, he brings his eternal associates. And that includes also cowherd boys. And there are eight sakhas, 8 cowherd boys, which are very close to Krishna, that in friendship. Because we are studying Nectar of Instruction. Nectar of Instruction, and we are discussing there the Tatat Karma Pavartanat, is 9 forms of devotional service, but they are also explained in Nectar of Devotion in more detail. Therefore, now we will go to Nectar of Devotion, chapter 41, I think. Chapter 41, let's see. I have it on the screen here. Nectar, other books of Srila Prabhupada, Nectar of Devotion, chapter 41, Fraternal Devotion. So that says, the introduction says, when a devotee is permanently situated in devotional service, and by different symptoms of ecstasy, he has developed and matured the fraternal mellow or flavoring relationship with Krishna, his feeling is called fraternal love of Godhead. So that I will read some of the expressions of love we find in friendship. So at the Battle of Kurukshetra, the Pandavas, headed by Yudhishthira Maharaj, saw Krishna in his four-armed form. He took his four-armed form on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He was holding his conch shell, his disc, club, and lotus flower. And then the Pandavas, they forgot themselves and merged into a notion of nectarian happiness. So Prabhupada writes, this shows how the sons of Pandu were caught up in fraternal love for Krishna. So it is said further that the impetus to fraternal love upon seeing the associates of Krishna in Vrindavan is also very natural, for their personal bodily features, their qualities, and their dress are all equal to Krishna's. So this is the cowherd boys. These associates are always happy in their service to Krishna, and they are generally known as Vayasyas, or friends of the same age. The Vayasyas are fully confident of the protection by Krishna. Devotees sometimes pray, "Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Vayasyas of Krishna, who are firmly convinced of Krishna's friendship and protection, and whose devotion to Krishna is ever fixed." So here, they are fully convinced of Krishna's friendship and protection. So by hearing about that, we get the same feeling that that's if we feel Krishna's presence in our heart as a friend, then we feel always protected. But whatever happens, we will see, good or bad, we will see as Krishna's mercy. That because good or bad is on the material platform, but Krishna's protection is especially on the spiritual platform. He protects the devotees' consciousness against degradation. But here, of course, this mood of Sakhyam exhibited by the associates of Krishna in Vrindavan means that the cowherd boys saw Krishna on an equal level. And that's something we cannot imitate, that we can accept Krishna in the heart, but we cannot see him on an equal level unless we come to the transcendental platform and become situated in Sakhya but that is beyond the liberated position. If we are not liberated, we accept Krishna as a friend, but we can also friendship our well-wisher and our protector. That's part of the process of surrender, seeing Krishna as your friend, your maintainer, your protector, your everything. And then our devotion becomes fixed. But the eternal associates of Krishna, they are under Yoga Maya. That the friends of Krishna in the spiritual world are under Yoga Maya, and through this Yoga Maya, they forget that Krishna is God, and they see him really as their friend on an equal level. But nevertheless, they discharge transcendental loving devotional service. That they may think oneself equal, but their goal is only to serve Krishna. So Prabhupada says such devotees who have such a relationship in deep friendship with Krishna, you don't find only in Vrindavan, but also in Dwarka and Hastinapur. So in all the other puras. And so Prabhupada makes the point, Vrindavan is Vrindavan, but all other places of Krishna's pastimes are called puras, towns. Mathura of Hastinapur, the capital of the coast, and so on. So Personalities like Arjuna, Bhima, Draupadi, and Sridhar Brahmani are counted among Krishna's fraternal devotees in the Puras. So, Arjuna, that is known, Bhima, and Draupadi also. Great friendship with Krishna. Krishna protected her when they tried to make her naked. And Sridham, of course, that's one of the closest friends, Sridham, in Krishna's Vrindavan pastime. Well, Sridham, this is Sridham Vipram, from Krishna's friend in Avanti at school with Sandipani Muni. So we will not read everything, but Prabhupada speaks first about the Pandavas and their friendship. But then Prabhupada recites a prayer of one of these devotees who is related to Krishna in friendship in Vrindavan. And the devotee prays, all glories to Krishna's Vayasyas, so Krishna's good friends, who are just like Krishna in their age, qualities, pastimes, dress, and beauty. They are accustomed to playing on their flutes made of palm leaves, and they all have buffalo horns, bugles ornamented like Krishna's, with jewels such as Indra-nila and with gold and coral. They are always jubilant like Krishna. May these glorious companions of Krishna always protect us. So here the next the next quote is very interesting. Krishna is holding up the Govardhan Hill with his left pinky. And one of his friends said, "Dear friend, you have been standing for the last 7 days and nights without any rest. This is very troublesome for you, because we see that you have undertaken a severely laborious task. We think therefore that you need not continue to stand in that way holding the hill. You can just transfer it unto Sudama's hand. We are very much agreed to see you in this position. If you think that Sudam is not able to support Govardhan Hill, then at least you should change hands. Instead of supporting it with your left hand, please transfer it to your right hand, so we can give your left hand a massage." So this very intimate relationship with Krishna that of course Sukadev Goswami in the Bhagavatam says, it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for the devotee in Vrindavan, he's just an ordinary boy who is under the spell of Maya. And just imagine, these coward boys are now playing with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, though they're thinking they are on an equal level. By this, one can understand that these boys must have accumulated heaps of the results of pious activities to enable them to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in such intimate friendship. So these are the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavan. So there are two different things here. The first is that although we are conditioned souls and we are trying to become devotees by the practice of devotional service, we can now also see Krishna as our friend, that as our best friend. Our best friend who maintains us, who protects us, and who arranges every situation for our spiritual benefit. That and a devotee in such accepting Krishna as his best friend as such is never fearful. He always feels Krishna's presence in his heart. And that is a very favorable feeling for making spiritual advancement. It's part of the process of surrender. Process of surrender is accepting what's favorable for devotional service, rejecting what's unfavorable, that we are discussing now. But then the next step means accepting Krishna as one's maintainer, as one's protector. So our best friend is our maintainer and our protector. And that, if we have that faith in Krishna, then, and we think of Krishna in devotion, then he will reciprocate with our friendship. That's one level. The other level is for the liberated souls who have realized their Svarup, their relationship with Krishna, and have a relationship in friendship with Krishna. And this relationship in friendship of Krishna by the essence of Vrindavan is very sweet, and we will see that how this is explained in this chapter 41 of Nectar of Devotion. Krishna divides those in friendship with Krishna in 4 groups. 1 is well-wisher friends, 2 is friends, 3 is confidential friends, and 4 is intimate friends. And then Srila Prabhupada gives examples of all these categories. That first he speaks about the well-wisher friends. They are a bit older than Krishna. And they have some parental affection for him also, so it's a mix. Because of their being older than Krishna, they also try to protect him from any harm. As such, they sometimes bear weapons so that they can chastise any mischievous person who wants to do harm to Krishna. So counting among these well-wishers are Subhadra, Mandalibhadra, Bhadravardhan, Gopata, Yaksaindra Bhatta, Bhadrangha, Virabhadra, Maguna, Vijaya, Balabhadra. So they are older than Krishna, and they're always thinking of his welfare. So these are examples of how these elderly friends deal with Krishna. So one elderly friend said, "My dear Mandalibhadra, why are you wielding a shining sword, as though you were running toward Aristasur to kill him? My dear Baladev, why are you unnecessarily bearing that heavy plow? My dear Vijay, don't be unnecessarily agitated. My dear Bhadravardhan, there is no need to make these threatening motions. If you will look more close, you will see that it is only a thundercloud upon Govardhan Hill. It is not the Aristasur in the shape of a bull. as you have imagined. These older well-wishing friends of Krishna had imagined a large cloud to be the Aristasur, appearing in the shape of a huge bull. In the midst of their excitement, one of them ascertained that it was not actually only a cloud that it was actually only a cloud on Govardhan Hill. He therefore informed the others not to take the trouble of worrying about Krishna, because there was no present danger from Aristasur. So these are the well-wishing friends of Krishna. That there are many examples here that about, this is a little further. Baladev's affection, that's Balaram. Baladev's affection for Krishna is illustrated in this statement to Subal. My dear friend, please inform Krishna not to go to Kalia's lake today. Today is his birthday, and so I wish to go along with Mother Yasoda to bathe him. Tell him he should not leave the house today. This shows how Balaram, Krishna's elder brother, took care of Krishna with parental love within the scope of fraternal affection. So that is the first category, who are elder than Krishna, but those who are younger, that friends who are younger than Krishna, who are always attached to him and will give him all kinds of service, are called ordinary friends or simply friends. Such ordinary friends are called Sakhas, and the names of some Sakhas are Vishal, Vrishabha, Ojasvi, Devaprastha, Varutab, Maranda, Kusumapida, Manibanda, and Karandam. All these Sakha friends of Krishna seek only to serve him. Sometimes some of them would rise early in the morning and immediately goes to Krishna's place and wait at the door to see Krishna and to accompany him to the pasturing grounds. In the meantime, Krishna would be dressed by Mother Yasoda, and when she would see a boy standing at the door, Mother Yasoda would call him, "Well, Vishal, why are you standing there? Come here." So with the permission of Mother Krishna, he would immediately enter the house, and while Mother Yasoda was dressing Krishna, he would try to help put on Krishna's ankle bells, and Krishna would jokingly strike him with his flute. It's very sweet. Then Mother Yasoda would call Krishna, "What is this? Why are you teasing your friend?" And Krishna would laugh, and the friend would also laugh. So these are some of the activities of Krishna's sakhas. So this is a spiritual world. It is only bliss and happiness from bhakti ras. Bhakti ras means our relationship with Krishna in devotional service. So sometimes the sakhas would take care of the cows who were going hither and thither. They would tell Krishna, "Your cows were going up here and there," and Krishna would thank them, would be thankful to them. Sometimes, when Krishna and his sakhas went to the pasturing ground, Kamsa would send a demon to kill Krishna. Therefore, almost every day there was a fight with some different kind of demon. So that, because when the cowherd boys were playing with each other, it's so ecstatic they could not stop, but they had to take lunch. So to have a break for the lunch, Kamsa would always send a demon. Well, he would send a demon every day, and there would be a fight with the demon. But here it is said, after fighting with a demon, Krishna would feel fatigued, the hairs on his head would be scattered, and the sakhas would immediately come and try to relieve him in different ways. Some friends would say, "My dear Vishal, please take this fan of lotus leaves and fan Krishna so that he may feel some comfort. For Uttapa, you just brush the scattered hairs on Krishna's head, which have fallen upon his face. Vrishabha, don't talk unnecessarily. Immediately massage Krishna's body. His arms have become tired from fighting and wrestling with that demon. Oh, just see how our friend Krishna has become tired. These are some examples of the treatment given to Krishna by the Sakhas. So, one of the Sakhas, known as Devaprashta, is described as follows. He is very strong, a reddish color, and is very expert in playing ball. He wears a white dress and he ties in his hairs a bunch with a rope. Whenever there is a fight between Krishna and the demons, Devaprashta is the first to help, and he fights just like an elephant. And then the gopis sometimes they speak about the cowherd boys and Krishna so one of the gopis once said to a friend, "My dear beautiful friend, when Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda, was taking rest within the cave of a hill, he was keeping his head on the arms of Sridham, and he was putting his left hand on Dharma's chest. Taking this opportunity, Devaprastha, out of his strong affection for Krishna, immediately began to massage his legs. Such are the activities of Krishna's friends on the pasturing ground. Now we have heard about the younger friends, the elder friends, the younger friends, and now there are Priya Sakhas, Sakhas which are very, very dear to Krishna, and there are 8 Priya Sakhas. There are also 8 Priya Sakhis, the 8 principal gopis, which we see on the altar in Mayapur. But you have also 8 Priya Sakhas, and they are mentioned here by name. Sridham, Sudama, Dharma, Vasudama, Kinkini, Stoka Krishna, Amsu, Bhadrasena, Vilasi, Pundarika, Vitanka, and Kalavikanta. These are very confidential friends of Krishna. Their behavior is only on the basis of pure friendship, Prabhupada says. The behavior of other friends is on grounds of paternal love, of servitude, but the basic principle of the confidential friends is simply friendship on an equal level. So by their activities in different pastimes, all these friends used to give transcendental pleasure. So Sridham, he was good in wrestling. And he was wrestling with Krishna. And when he was wrestling with Krishna, Krishna was always losing. Sridham was always winning. And later when he heard that Krishna was wrestling with these wrestlers and killed Kamsa, Sridham said, it's not possible and when he was in Mathura, I said, I don't believe I don't believe this is Krishna. Unless he wrestles with me and I win, then I will. So in Mathura, Sridham wrestled with Krishna and he won and said, okay, it's Krishna. So that is on equal level. So the behavior of these confidential friends is described by a friend of Radharani, who told Radharani, my dear graceful Radharani, your intimate friend Krishna is also served by his intimate boyfriends, Some of them cut jokes with him in mild voices and please him very much by this. For example, Krishna had one Brahmin friend whose name was Madhumangal. Madhumangal, he was from a Brahmin friend, and he was playing. Madhumangal is always joking, and he likes to eat ladus. Well, he would, when wherever the friends ate, he would eat more than all others, especially ladus. And then, after eating more ladus than anyone else, Madhumangal would still not be satisfied, and he would say to Krishna, "If you give me one more ladu, then I shall be pleased to give you blessings, so that your friend Radharani will be very much pleased with you." Because the Brahmins give always blessings to the Vaishyas, and so the Brahmins, therefore Krishna presented himself as a Vaishya, the son of Maharaj Nanda. So the Brahman boy was writing, giving blessings to Krishna, and Krishna was very pleased by his friend's blessing, and he would give him more and more ladus. So these are very nice descriptions, and it gives us a deeper insight of the dealings with Krishna, of the resonance of Vrindavan in the spiritual world. It's mentioned here, sometimes a confidential friend would come before Krishna and embrace him with great affection and love. Another friend would then come up from the rear and cover Krishna's eyes with his hands. And Krishna would always feel very happy by such dealings with confidential friends. So out of all these confidential friends, Sri Dharma is considered to be the chief. Yeah, I think Sri Dharma is the brother of Radharani. Sri Dharma used to put on a yellow colored dress. He would carry a buffalo horn, and his turban was of reddish copper color. His body complexion was blackish, and around his neck there was a nice garland. He would always challenge Krishna in joking friendship. Let us pray to Sridham to bestow his mercy upon us. That sometimes Sridham used to address Krishna. He said, "Oh, you are so cruel that you left us alone on the bank of the Yamuna, and we were all mad from not seeing you there. Now it's our great fortune that we are able to see you here. If you want to pacify us, you must embrace each one of us with your arms. But believe me, my dear friend, a moment's absence from you creates great havoc, not only for us, but also for the cows also. Everything becomes disarranged, and we become mad after you." So you have the Priya Sakas, but you have even friends who are even more confidential. The Priya Narma friends, or intimate friends. And they are Subal, Arjun, Gandharva, Vashanta, and Ujjvala. So this appears from talks amongst the friends of Radharani, the gopis, about these friends. So one gopi addressed Radharani. She said, "My dear Krishangi," Krishangi means delicate one, "just see how Subal is whispering your message into Krishna's ears, and now he is delivering the confidential letter of Shyam Dasi silently into Krishna's hand. How he is delivering the betel nuts prepared by Palika into Krishna's mouth. And now he is decorating Krishna with a garland prepared by Taraka. Did you know, my dear friend, that all these most intimate friends of Krishna are always engaged in his service in this way? Out of the many intimate Priya Narmas, Subal and Ujjvala are considered to be the most prominent. And here is a description of Subal. Subal's body is described as follows. His complexion is just like molten gold. He's very, very dear to Krishna. He always has a garland around his neck. And he wears yellow clothing. His eyes are just like lotus flower petals, and he's so intelligent that by his talking and his moral instructions, all the other friends take the highest pleasure. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Krishna's friends. So the degree of intimacy shared by Krishna and Subal can be understood by the fact that the talks between them were so confidential that no one else could understand what they were saying. So the description of Ujjvala, another intimate friend, is given as follows. Ujjvala always wears some garment of orange color, and the movement of his eyes are always restless. He likes to decorate himself with all kinds of flowers. His body hue is almost like Krishna's, and his neck, there is always a necklace of pearls. He is always very dear to Krishna. Let us worship Ujjvala, the most intimate friend of Krishna. So, about Ujjvala, so we says one of the friends, but Radharani addresses one of her friends. My dear friend, it is impossible for me to keep my prestige. I wanted to avoid talking to Krishna anymore. But just see. There again is his friend Ujjvala coming to me with his canvassing work. His entities are so powerful that it's very difficult for a gopi to resist her love for Krishna, even though she may be bashful, devoted to her family duties, and most faithful to her husband. So this most confidential friends of Krishna, they form part of the communication team with the gopis, appears here. So the following is a statement by Ujjvala, showing his jubilant nature. My dear Krishna, O killer of Aghasur, you have extended your loving affair so much that you can be compared to the great ocean, which is without limitations. At the same time, the young girls of the world who are searching after the perfect lover have just become like rivers running into this ocean. Under the circumstances, all these rivers of young girls may try to divert their courses to some other place, but at the end they must come to you. So then here, then at the end, it said there are three divisions among Krishna's friends. Some are eternally in friendship with Krishna. Some are elevated demigods, and some are perfected devotees. So in other words, some come from the spiritual world, eternal friends. Some are demigods who are promoted to that position, and some are sadhakas who will become perfected. So in all these groups, there are some who by nature are fixed in Krishna's service and are always engaged in giving counsel. Some of them are very fond of joking and naturally cause Krishna to smile by their words. Some of them are by nature very simple, and by their simplicity they please Lord Krishna. Some of them create wonderful situations by their activities, apparently against Krishna. Some of them are very talkative, always arguing with Krishna and creating a debating atmosphere. Some of them are very gentle and give pleasure to Krishna by their sweet words. All of these friends are intimate friends of Krishna. and they show expertise in different activities. Chapter 42 goes deeper in this fraternal loving affairs and create and describes friends of Krishna on different in different age periods. When Krishna was the Kamara age, Pauganda age, of Kashora age, that it's especially Kamara means up to 5 years. That is there reciprocates the love of a child, but it's love, especially with Mother Yasoda, those in parental love. But it's in the Pauganda age that especially he reciprocates with the cowherd boys. That and yeah, that's so. In the Pauganda, it's sometimes he would wrestle with different friends, and sometimes they would dance together in the forest. These are specific activities of the Pauganda age. So more details are here about friendship with Krishna on the spiritual level, that on the pure level of self-realized souls are in Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion is our manual of devotional service, and Prabhupada said we should know this inside and outside. That therefore, by reading this, we develop a sense of what friendship with Krishna means and how ecstatic it is. And the same friendship we can create between devotees in Krishna consciousness with those who are on equal level. We can also develop these sweet relationships, because relationships with devotees are based on service. And that we want to become the devotee of Krishna, servant of Krishna, we must first become the servant of his devotee. That then it is wonderful opportunities by association of devotees to develop this deep friendship. And by this deep friendship, we will share our Krishna consciousness experience. And by sharing this Krishna consciousness experience, we will inspire each other to progress in our sadhana and make spiritual advancement. So in conclusion, we have heard about the importance of seeing Krishna as our best friend, as our maintainer and protector. We have heard about a lot of examples of the rasa of friendship, which is different. The rasa of friendship develops after liberation, and we have seen examples of in the spiritual world of different groups of cowherd boys having a relationship with Krishna on different levels. Those who are older than him, those who are younger than him, those who are very intimate with him, those who are ordinary friends. All forms of friendship in the spiritual world. But it is natural for us to accept Krishna as our best friend, because he's our best friend. is our well-wisher. He came with us to the material world, is in the heart of our soul, and he wants us back to the spiritual world. And we can go back if we start living in a relationship with our best friend in the heart. And Krishna will reciprocate with this friendship, will give us his friendship, which is ecstatic. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So obviously our goal here is to, instead of being a servitor, is to become his friend, because that's even closer, more deeper, mellow. Did I get that right in what we were just discussing?
The essence is that we should accept Krishna as our best friend. And because Krishna is our best friend, is our well-wisher, he wants us back to the spiritual world. That to come on the spiritual platform and become Krishna's friends, that is after liberation. That's a very high platform. But we hear about these examples from Nectar of Devotion, how Krishna reciprocates with his friends and how ecstatic it becomes. But Krishna will also reciprocate with us in this material world. He says that in Bhagavad Gita, Ananya Sintyantamam Yechna Paripaste Tesham Nityabhyuktyam Yogaksema Vamyam 725 in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, to my devotee, I bring what in, I protect his spiritual advancement. And I give him what he needs. I give him more and more opportunities to make spiritual advancement. That means he's our well-wisher. If you just try to become his devotee, he does that. So that awareness, we need to create that Krishna is really our best friend. It's not something to develop, it's a fact. We must accept it and realize it and act as such. And try always to think of Krishna in our heart as our best friend. Does that help to understand that?
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah. And anyone else? Good. Thank you very much. Then next week we will speak about Atma Nivedanam and finish this Tat Karma Pavartanat after many months. But it's important to understand what this Tat Karma Pavartanat means. And we have tried to go deeper and also in Nectar of Devotion to understand the deeper meaning of these 9 forms of devotional service. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you very much, Maharaj. His name is Bhakti Prabha Maharaj ki jai.
Srila
Thank you.
Prabhupada.